Have you ever been peacefully sleeping in the middle of the night only to be woken up by your children because they are afraid of the dark? I'm Christy, and I'm going to share some of my favorite read aloud books, including our brand new I'm Not Very Afraid of the Dark. I tell everyone that I'm not scared of anything. Poisonous snakes? Not likely. Giant hairy spiders? Never. Are you afraid of the dark, they ask? No, I say, but I think not very. But as the sun goes down, the dark stretches out. It gets bigger and bigger and starts to cover everything. And the feeling inside me gets bigger too, like a hole I could fall into. Nobody knows about it but me. At the end of the story, the boy sees that maybe the dark isn't all that bad. It's only when it's really dark that I can see all the stars. And so I wonder, maybe the dark isn't all that bad. This is Al. Have you met me yet? Turn the page and I'll introduce you. This is Al is an interactive story where your readers actually get to be involved. My kids love it. They laugh hysterically and they ask to read it again and again. Reading expert Mim Fox says the more expressively we read, the more fantastic the experience will be for our readers. In Steve, Terror of the Seas, there's lots of opportunities to do fun voices. We can give the little fish little voices, and we can give the big fish big voices. Steve, the terror of the sea, he doesn't understand why all the fish are scared of him. In fact, he says that he's seen far scarier fish in the waters. So at the end of the book, we find out that it might not be Steve that they're afraid of, but perhaps it's his best friend, George. Sometimes poems get a bad rap for being boring or hard to understand. But that is not the case with Otters, Snails, and Tadpole tales. Cattail. What a strange and silly cat to make yourself at home like that, with no concern for rain or flood, your tender paws in sticky mud. My kids ask a lot of questions about the different animals and insects that are in this poem book. Do you have an animal lover? And across the savannah, the animals come to life. This pop-up book explores the different animals that live on the savannah, and my kids' favorite part is roaring like a lion and making the different animal sounds as we turn the pages. My son loves getting the mail every day, and we got a lot of mail around the holidays, and he had a lot of fun opening the different letters. So he especially enjoys reading Dragon Post. Alex finds a dragon in his house, and he's a little worried that the dragon might burn down his house. So he writes to the fire brigade for some advice. And finally he hears back in a letter. So it turns out dragons didn't like jam sandwiches, so Alex needed some advice on what to feed his dragon. So he writes to the butcher. Dragon Post follows the story of Alex and his dragon as he learns to care for his dragon, and ultimately decides that maybe a house isn't the best place for a dragon to live. There are 5 letters that your reader can open and read as they help Alex learn to take care of his dragon. My son is fascinated with space and he loves animals, so when we got the book Dogs in Space, it quickly became a family favorite to read with him. Dogs in Space tells the story about real-life dogs Belka and Strelka and their journey to becoming cosmonauts. They had to be just the right size to fit in the spacecraft. They also had to go through training just like people who are astronauts go through. Finally, it was launch day for Belka and Strelka. Belka and Strelka circled the Earth many times until at last they safely returned home to Earth. The news of their journey spread all across the world. Belka and Strelka's brave adventure blazed a trail for humans to follow. My son really likes this last page because it shows other animals that have gone to space, and this has led to more conversations and given us more things to explore together. Research shows that even older kids can benefit from being read aloud to. Even if it's reading the same book over and over again, there are benefits to their vocabulary when they hear that same story again and again. So I would love to know in the comments, which book do you want to cuddle up and share with your readers?